How's it going, everyone? This is Nick at barburn.com, and today we're talking about the best fat burning supplements for women. Right off the bat, I gotta make it clear, calories are the most important thing when it comes to burning fat. You want to consume fewer calories than you burn, that leads to weight loss. While calories are the most important thing when you are losing weight, there is some interesting science suggesting that fat burning supplements could potentially help a lending hand. So today we're going to be talking about a wide variety of different fat burners. We've got the best non-stim fat burner because a lot of them contain caffeine. We've got to have the best for appetite suppression, the best for thermogenesis, and more. So stick around, we're going to make you an expert in fat burners, and you're going to decide which one here is the right product for you. Before I go on, I should make it clear that this is not medical advice and I am not a medical doctor. That's a disclaimer that's important on basically any kind of supplement content, but especially ones like this. If you're going to make any changes to your supplement regimen or your nutrition regimen or your exercise regimen or anything like that, make certain that you speak to your own doctor so that you can get some professional advice and make sure that the plan that you've landed on is going to be squared away with you, the medications you're on, your own personal history, and your own individual preferences. So before I go on and answer the most common question that we get asked about fat burners, I want to just tell you what the top pick on our list is, because you know what? I respect your time. You got places to be. It is Kaged Muscles Clean Burn. These are fat burning pills, and they got a really interesting breadth of ingredients that address the question of fat loss from various angles. So it's a pretty killer product. I'm gonna get all the way into it in just a second, but first, what's a fat burner? Like what are these ingredients that we keep talking about? Fat burning supplements, I recognize it is maybe a bit of a misnomer because it is not like you take a pill and then just the fat starts melting off of your body, right? Calories are the most important thing here, but some of the ingredients in these products can potentially help you burn more calories at rest. So there are three main ways these kind of products work. The first is thermogenesis, which again, that is when you can burn more calories at rest than you would have otherwise if you hadn't taken the product. Very, very common in these sorts of supplements, and interesting research has suggested that it helps to slightly increase the temperature in your body, not in a way that you'll really notice it, but that's what thermogenesis means. Like it increases the heat, like it creates the heat, thermogenesis in the body. So that's one way that it can help you to burn more calories. The second one is fat oxidation, which that actually is like fat burning, right? And there is some evidence that a lot of ingredients out there, for example, EGCG, a type of antioxidant found in green tea, it coaxes the body into burning more fat for fuel than it would have otherwise. The last one is appetite suppression, which may be the most important category here because you can take something that'll make you burn a couple hundred more calories, but if you eat a couple hundred more calories, that's all gonna be for naught, right? These ingredients basically, through completely different mechanisms, can cause you to be less hungry, to crave less, and thereby you're not gonna struggle so much with the lower calorie, right? So those are the three ways fat burning supplements work. And now I'm gonna talk about our favorite fat burning supplements on the market for women, starting with our absolute favorite, which again is Clean Burn. So a lot of the ingredients that I just mentioned are in this product, right? We have the capsaicin, or this one's called Capsi Max, which is a patented form of capsaicin that has some studies linking it to increased fat oxidation, increased thermogenesis, and lower appetite. Same goes to the green tea extract here, which is 80% catechins, 50% EGCG, which is the one you really want to look for on these sorts of products if you wanted to have the green tea extract specifically for weight loss purposes. There's also L-carnitine, L-tartrate, and then finally there's Gymnema sylvester. Very unusual. That is a plant extract that could potentially help you to taste sugary foods less. Like it seems to like dull the receptors or something in the mouth. But we've had some studies on moderately obese individuals and that found they lost 5 to 6% of their body weight when they were taking this particular supplement, simply because they craved sweet, desserty food less. So that's interesting. So that has like an element of appetite suppression in addition to these other ingredients that have elements of fat oxidation, thermogenesis as well. So pretty interesting supplement. We also named this our best all-natural fat burner because there's nothing artificial in this, right? You're talking plant extracts. A lot of people, when they hear fat burning supplements, they get worried you're taking some weird frankenfoods designed in a weird lab. What this is it's natural products, right? It's green tea extract, it's a red chili pepper extract, and so on. There's also no artificial flavors in this, no artificial sweeteners. Even the capsules that this comes in are vegan friendly. So if you are vegan, vegetarian, halal, kosher, or just don't like the idea of having your pills wrapped in bones, that's not the case here. So you are able to have this if you're vegan or vegetarian. Lastly, it's third-party tested for purity and potency. So that means basically that you can be confident that even though you're getting a fat burning supplement, which is a bit intimidating to some people, you can be rest assured that it doesn't have any weird other ingredients that have made their way into the capsules. It's just what's right here in the label. Next up, you want to get ready for this one because Swolverine's Therm, or Therm, if I had a normal accent, is our favorite belly fat burning fat burner, in addition to being the best for the money. It's actually remarkably inexpensive, because in this little pill bottle, you are going to get 90 servings, and the cost winds up being around 35 cents per serving. So 35 cents per day, because it's just one pill per serving. So it's a really impressive price, what they've come up with here. We named the best for the money, also the best for belly fat. Now, to be clear, spot reduction in fat, which is like saying, I'm gonna lose some fat from my elbow, I'm gonna lose some fat from my belly. That's not really how the metabolism works. But that said, there are interesting ingredients in here that aren't just linked to burning more calories, but also some more direct effects on fatty tissue. So for example, there's coleus for scoli in this, which might increase lipolysis, which is the breakdown of fats. We've also got some banaba leaf, which might decrease the production of fat cells. And there's Garcinia cambogia as well, which has links to reducing fat mass. Now again, total calories, total micronutrients, your exercise regimen, your sleep, very, very important. But still, like with this many different ingredients, with this many different ways of potentially reducing belly fat, what we've found is that like if that's your main goal here, so long as you're also following the other advice for losing fat, this could provide some extra relief in that regard, simply because there are so many ingredients in it that are helping to reduce fat in so many different ways. We also considered Therm the best research-backed fat burner. For the sheer number of ingredients here, you can find a study supporting each and every one for use in a weight loss plan. So there's cayenne pepper, of course, which as mentioned has links to fat oxidation and reduced appetite, but also thermogenesis. There's also caffeine in here, which has the links to fat loss, thermogenesis, and reduced appetite as well. What's interesting as well is that the caffeine actually comes from guarana. So for one, you're getting 100 milligrams of caffeine, which for a fat burner is pretty low. Like your average 12-ounce cold brew from a coffee shop is 150, 160 milligrams of caffeine. So it's not going to be an overwhelming amount of caffeine. And the fact that it comes from guarana is interesting because some evidence suggests that it provides like a more pleasant, less jittery form of stimulation. So for many folks, when they're taking caffeine for thermogenesis, they find it more helpful to get it from that form. And that's what Therm has used here from Swolverine. And so that wraps up our dissertation on Swolverine's Therm. It is our best fat burner for belly fat, the best research-backed fat burner, the best for thermogenics, and also, shockingly, the best for the money as well. It's just 35 cents a day. Before we move on to our next pick, I did want to say that this is kind of a lot of information and a lot of ingredients. So my point being, if you want to get a written version of this video, we wrote one. So you can just go to Google and do bar bend best fat burners for women, and the article for this video will come up. So that way you can go through the information at your own pace, look at the studies that we've been citing and so on, and make up your own mind as to which of these products is right for you. For now though, we're going to talk about the fastest working fat burner. Hourglass is our pick for the fastest working fat burner. The reason for that is that it has a lot of glucomannan in it, right? We really like it for appetite suppression. There's some really interesting data out there showing that folks who take it, like they lose weight over time because they're eating less. The reason for that is that this is a very certain kind of fiber that swells up in the stomach. Once it hits the stomach, it swells a little bit, so it makes the stomach feel like it's fuller than it is, and thereby it manages to reduce appetite. So the fastest working fat burner, Hourglass fit here. It's all pills, it's vegetarian friendly though. And on top of that, you have some extra nutrition here. There's some B vitamins, some zinc, and some chromium as well. 5-HTP is also a very interesting ingredient for appetite management. So combine that 5-HTP with the glucomannan, the Japanese konjac tree, and you have like, yeah, a pretty interesting product for appetite suppression here. The next product is a question we get asked a lot, which is the best fat burner for women over 40. It's no surprise, as we get older, our metabolism changes a little bit and our resting metabolic rate tends to decrease. So they tend to be different needs, or at least like differently emphasized needs for folks over 40. Transparent Labs was our favorite for this one. The reason why we like this one, honestly, it has a solid emphasis on appetite suppression as well as like fat oxidation too. The idea here being that it actually becomes necessary to eat fewer calories as you get older than it was when you were younger. So this has a bit of an emphasis on appetite, including a good dose of 5-HTP, which, as I just mentioned, more satiety and also more satisfaction in general, helps people sleep and so on. So it has like some interesting beneficial effects outside of just like what you're eating. You've also got theanine here, which also helps the mental state. There's some caffeine too. This isn't non-stim, but it's just 120 milligrams of caffeine, and then you get some theanine with that as well. And many people find that caffeine and theanine combined, put together, helps to create more of a sort of a relaxed approach to caffeine that just like increases your focus without making you really jittery or wired, right? while also having a thermogenic effect on your body. So you have the appetite suppression of 5-HTP in green tea, but you've also got some extra fat oxidation and thermogenesis from other ingredients, including caffeine, cayenne pepper, and also stim-free, which is an interesting extract that you don't see very often. But some pretty curious studies supporting it. So that's Transparent Labs. We are a fan of this bad boy, buddy. For ladies over 40. We're a fan of it. It does have some stimulating ingredients, but they do have a non-stim version available as well, if that's what you would prefer. In any case, they have a nice emphasis on both helping people to burn a bit more calories at rest, helping people to manage their appetite as well, and also just generally making one a little bit more satisfied with the process because of that extra serotonin that it may help you produce. Now, one audience that is very attentive in the world of fat burners is bodybuilders and female bodybuilders. So a question we often get asked is the best fat burning stack. That's when you're taking multiple products at once on top of one another to have ideally synergistic effects, or at least stacking effects. So you can enjoy the benefits of all of them. So in the female bodybuilding community, this supplement stack has become pretty popular. We have to agree this is a really good one. The company is Huge Supplements, and they've got both Eliminate and Exterminate. Eliminate might sound like a diuretic, it is not. It's about eliminating body fat, and so is Exterminate. The idea is you put them together and you get all the benefits. So the reason these are sold as separate products really is because one has stimulants and one does not, right? But there are also some ingredients in the two that could work synergistically. So we've got hesperidin in Eliminate and naringin and stim-free in Exterminate. And there is just some interesting evidence that taking these sorts of extracts together can help to enhance their properties, not just have them both at the same time, but they could work synergistically a little bit. So if you're convinced by the science behind the thermogenic effects of these ingredients, the amount of calories they can burn really is superior to everything else here, particularly when the two of them are combined together. So that can be especially useful for female bodybuilders or for any bodybuilders, because especially as one approaches the date of the competition, you're low in calories, you're high on cardio, and there's a good chance that you simply can't consume fewer calories than you're at. For competitors, for physique competitors and for bodybuilders, that can make all the difference. So a lot of people find that combining thermogenic aspects like this can really help in that journey. Now, when it comes to the best pre-workout fat burner, the best fat burning pre-workout, we're going back to Transparent Labs here. As we've mentioned, really great company, really transparent with all the dosing. It's the kind of thing where if you don't believe anything I'm saying, that's fine. You can go to their website, they'll tell you themselves, and they'll show you the proof for it on PubMed with the scientific references. So it's really a good company at instilling confidence in their consumer base. This is their pre-workout called Lean. They've changed the formulation a couple of times over the years, but generally this is the pre-workout for folks who want some extra fat burning ingredients in it. For one, it's actually not crazy high in caffeine for a pre-workout, which we find is always ideal, or typically ideal for our female viewers, because they tend to weigh less than men, right? So here we've got 220 milligrams of caffeine, which is certainly not nothing, but it is, again, it's about what you'll find in the 16-ounce cold brew or so, roughly speaking. And then it's also got citrulline, beta-alanine, and beta-ene anhydrous, which are very popular pre-workout ingredients that can help with blood flow, endurance, and power output as well. So very, very, very good pre-workout there. It's not crazy high in caffeine, and also you've got some ingredients in there for increased fat loss as well. Next up, we've been talking a lot here today about different stimulants in pre-workouts. Caffeine is the main one, but also sometimes there's yohimbine and stuff like that. Non-stim fat burners, they are a thing. Most of them have stimulants, but Legion's Phoenix right here is a stim-free product. Legion is another company. It's a little bit like Transparent Labs, but they're very good at being transparent and citing their sources and all that kind of stuff. So this stim-free fat burner from Legion is a bit more creative with its ingredient profile. Black ginger extract, which has some interesting anti-obesity effects in some literature. And there's also grains of paradise here. Now, there's been some interesting research with grains of paradise. It has found if you're able to extract the bioflavonoids in there, it could activate your brown fatty tissue, and also it can help to increase your calorie burn for the day. So it has a thermogenic effect as well. Again, I encourage you to click on the link in the description below if you're interested in checking out this product and learning more about them, because Legion does helpfully tell you what every single one of the ingredients does. And also all that information is on the article version of this video that you can Google. The last fat burner I want to talk about in this video is the pinkest one as well. It's Leanbean, which we named the best fat burner for appetite suppression. It's interesting looking at the products that are great for thermogenesis, or the ones that have a lot of fat oxidation ones. Personally, I think this is a really good one to end on, because appetite suppression is a really important part of the weight loss puzzle, or rather calorie restriction is, and appetite suppression can help you to get there. Despite that word suppression, this is not too scary a topic because it uses all natural ingredients. The one we're talking about here, again, is glucomannan, which is the same ingredient that was in Hourglass Fit. It's got roughly the same amount of glucomannan that you take per day. This isn't just a glucomannan supplement though, there are also a few other ones here, including chlorogenic acid, which some research suggests can reduce your absorption of calories as well. So that combination of appetite suppression and also potentially reduced calorie absorption can be a really effective combination for a fat burner like Leanbean. This is definitely our favorite fat burner for appetite suppression, plus it's vegetarian friendly. Also, just because we've been answering so many common questions about these, we've done like how do fat burners work, what are the different ingredients in fat burners, when to take a fat burner is another one I want to quickly address just because there's such a wide variety of ingredients in this. It's typically half an hour before each meal. But the main thing is with fat burners is generally speaking, if we're gonna have a really like blanket answer to that question, you take them about a half hour before a meal because that's going to help to kick in the appetite suppressive effects and help to kick in the other effects that it might have. For example, the decreased calorie absorption that some of these ingredients may help to confer. If you take it like about a half hour before a meal, that's going to help it kick in time for the meal to actually hit your stomach. Read the ingredients, have a look at the research, talk to the brand, and above all, talk to your doctor. All right, that does it for our video on the best fat burners for women. There are a large variety of products out there with a whole lot of different ingredients there. And as I mentioned, they're active in various areas of different ways that could potentially help to expedite weight loss. So there's a lot to take in. I do encourage you to Google the full article or just go to Barben Best Fat Burners for Women. I'm glad you hung around this long. It's nice to see you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for the next video.